I think we're live. What's going on, everybody? Metal Dad here, and as always, I'm here with Turbo.
Oh yeah,
We're here. I think I might have to turn some of the reverb
Ooh,
and
your
stuff
mic
down.
is hot.
Well, I was screaming metal into it.
Oh well, here, let
into
me
the channel.
run over and take some highs off.
Well, yes, can you please? Because it's kind of like my fillings are coming right into it. Yeah, channel 1. I got that's. I can't even. There we go. It's a little better. Oh yeah. Oh, long.
Next time I'll bring my condenser and we'll have that one. It'll be squealing.
Oh well.
We'll make it work. It's
guess
not
what?
bad. They're far enough away that it's not like.
We have 2.5 guys that know how to work a soundboard.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like we're on a big live.
I know you know how to work a
Stage
soundboard
either.
too, Flynn. I just wanted to poke fun at you. You know how to work it. You just don't know what it does. He just knows how to turn the knobs.
This episode brought to you by Sugar Buzz.
Sugar Buzz. Well, all right. Well, here, let's get a little bit of a. I want to do a little sound bowling.
Yeah.
It's gonna suck some. Everybody, get that heart chakra going. Just a little short today. Ooh. We've been getting spiritual up in this mofo. Remember, me and Chris had a meeting there earlier this week. Flynn was in for the meeting too for a little bit there.
Yeah, that was epic.
Oh, I love that meeting. I actually started to see, finally, I was starting to see the energy
G-line,
between my
yeah,
fingers.
me too.
The night of, I kind of, after everybody left, I saw a spark come out of that finger.
Wow.
I saw a spark. I didn't see, and today I just kind of almost saw the gray line a little bit.
Oh man.
I know what's going to happen to me. I'm going to Doctor Strange it. You ever watch that movie?
Oh yeah.
Did
Oh
you
yeah.
remember when he was trying to make the portals and everything and how he
Yeah.
couldn't do it? He just,
Yeah.
oh, I'm pretty sure that's what's happening to me right now.
Oh man.
I'm going to be going through one of those things where it's like, and then all of a sudden I'm going to go, and I'm going to be lighting shit on fire with my brain and shit.
That was a trip. We got the chi going in the circle, and I felt like I just smoked a huge joint, and I had not. But it was like, whoa.
Spiritual energy.
Buzzing, man. Yeah, that was crazy.
Spiritual
was
energy,
cool.
my friend.
Cool stuff. Yeah.
So
No.
what do you think? Where do we want to start? Flynn,
I don't know.
give us a baseline so we can monologue the shit out of the lockdown that's coming down, and we're going to have a shot of rum. So
Yeah.
because we're going into
Brunswick
lockdown. For those of you who don't know, we live in Fredericton, or outside of Fredericton, New Brunswick. Well, yeah, you live outside, don't you?
Yeah, no, I'm right in town.
Oh, you're right in. Oh, you poor bastard.
Oh, yeah, they're all.
Sorry to
I'm
hear
in the belly of the beast.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I can even see the legislature from my hallway.
I'm really sorry to hear that. But hey, that's not a bad spot to be.
It's not their building. They just got shitty vibes in a good building.
There we go. Well, here.
Damn thing was probably built. Who knows when?
Flynn, are you going to have a shot?
Cheers.
Well, you got to go get your shot glass there, buddy. Well, we'll have another one with Flynn.
Oh, good stuff.
Woo! Woo!
Interesting. Doesn't hurt like a scotch or a whiskey.
It's a rum.
Oh, there it is. I just was delayed. That's all. I was like, that's funny. I didn't get that usual. Well, I got one more verse to write on this song.
One more verse. You want to write it while we're monologuing about the fucking
Yeah.
lockdown? Like you were saying before we got on camera here, it makes no sense because all that's happening now is the people that had vaccines aren't allowed to go to the same places that we weren't allowed to go to.
Yep. And yeah. And you'll notice governments across the world are changing their tune.
Well,
In particular in Bulgaria. Did you see that?
No, but I saw CNN starting to backtrack and they lost 90% of their viewers.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, big shock. I mean, everybody knows they're lying and, you know, they went on
I
the
hope
whole
they know now.
ivermectin stuff. Well, the whole ivermectin thing pretty much exposed what everybody knew, that they're just full of shit.
This just makes it more seem like this is all pantomime.
Yeah, well, it is, right?
It has to, because there can't be this much stupidity going on at once.
No.
It's
Governments can only be so inept.
Like
there's yeah.
They've done so well at hiding their ineptability and their ability to hide things from us for so long. Why all of a sudden now is everything being shone down on. Like, it's like, I was listening to Joe Rogan on one of his clips today, and he was talking to Ari Shafir, and I don't know who the other guy he was talking to.
Comedian guys.
Yeah, he was sitting down talking to them, and they're just like, they're talking about Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein, and Joe was just like, just think 10 years ago. 10 years ago, if you would have walked around saying that there was a fuck island, I'm paraphrasing, by the way, but I'm paraphrasing in Joe Rogan. If you would have walked around saying there was a fuck island where people were taking high-end fucking officials and scientists and stuff, and they were bringing them into an island and tricking them into fucking young women and then catching them on videotape and then making them do whatever they want to do and then sending them off back into the world. People would have called you a fucking retard.
I would have said, well, when's the movie coming out?
Yeah.
Because what James Bond show was that?
Oh, that's true.
Right? It's like, that's the thing. It's like a James Bond movie, but, you know.
I'm going to find a good, comfortable
But George Fleming who wrote all those, was a Secret Service agent in the States, so...
Not surprised.
Or in the war, I mean, not in the States. He was British. I think. Pretty sure he's British, yeah. Yeah, he was. Yeah, crazy. Craziness.
So,
yeah,
Bulgaria.
They stormed the capital.
In Bulgaria?
Yeah.
I saw footage of Kazakhstan, actually.
Okay, well, Kazakhstan's like a level beyond. They've already booted out the president and the...
Oh, have they?
Oh, yeah, he's long gone. They took over the military. Police are out. Yeah, it's on. It's still very. I mean, who knows really what's going on? Except people in Kazakhstan really know. But as far as I understand, they've left the loop. They're done. The people got sick of it. Well, because what happened?
They pulled out.
I do know that they introduced X passes for the bank, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And they're like, nope, not doing it. Because think about it, right? It's you get a shot or you can't have your money. But everybody knows a shot is not a shot. It's you've agreed to an unending series that's on these emergency mandates. It's not everything. All the rules are out the window. It's a joke, right? It's a cruel joke. So basically, once you would say, okay, that's all right. I will take whatever medicine you want me to take whenever you want me to take it, and I won't require it to be tested in order to get my money. I mean, that's
enough.
Let's go from level 1 to 10. And they're like, nope.
It's just like Trudeau trying to saying that he can suspend our rights and freedoms away because 80% of the people believe that we should. And then they find out that on CTV, when they buried this poll that they did, and 75% of the people say, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
We don't agree with this. Like, come on.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
No, it's going down. And finally, a lot of the doctors, a lot of the nurses. But how many people got COVID this week are all double vaxxed? My Facebook was full of it. All these people who I know have gotten their shots. They're on double. Some of them are on triple. Higgs and his wife and his family have all got 3 shots. They got COVID, who's our premier. So, I mean, what does that tell you? You know?
See, I'm not seeing any of that on Facebook because I think I've purged all of the people that were like that.
Well, no,
it's either that or I'm not seeing them.
I don't post anything political on Facebook. I barely go on. I just go to read. I don't even. Yeah. I just stopped because I used to have to because of work. So I always had to do like presents for selling cars. It's an important part of the business. And since I'm not in that business anymore, I have no reason to.
Yeah.
And I'm just working on getting healthy. So
I'm just saying most of the people on my Facebook are on our side.
Yeah. Well,
but it's all veterans.
Yeah, well, and you won't see, and a lot of your stuff will be hidden from people who don't agree with you, because that's how they do it, right?
Yeah. But even the people that didn't agree with me, I'm starting to see them come around. Like one of my buddies that I was fighting with a lot, I see him sharing a lot of the same stuff that I'm sharing now, and I notice that he's not disagreeing with me anymore. And God love you, Scott. I love you. And I'm sorry to bring your name up, but man, we had some fucking words, and I thought our friendship was over one day, but I never blocked him. He never blocked me. And now I see what he's posting, and he's posting the same shit that I'm posting. In fact, it's almost like he's taking it from my page sometimes.
I blocked one person. I've only ever blocked 2 people on Facebook, and it was just, it wasn't about this. It was just about I don't know, too much negativity. And I just won't have it. So I was like, no. And I was healing at the time, and it was like, just like, no, I don't want your negativity. And really went back and went, no, I don't want to be friends with you.
Yeah.
It was just that simple, And I was like, I'm not going to drag this out. It's like being in a relationship you shouldn't be in, dragging it out, And it's like, well, we weren't that serious and we weren't really dating, so are we really breaking up? That type thing,
Yeah.
right? It's just like, nah, man, you know.
You
No.
bring your volume on your bass down just slightly.
It was so intense, though.
It was intense. I like it, but I think just a little less volume and than
Yeah.
me. I just found that our voices were struggling a little bit.
I'm just Canadian, so I didn't say anything. I'm trying to back that down,
there we
find a
go.
healthy balance. Yeah.
I like that. See, that's good right there.
Yeah.
See, I'm used to telling Flynn to turn up or turn down or do whatever he's going because
Yeah.
we're in the same band, right?
Yep.
Because I'm usually the one telling everybody what their fucking levels and shit like that. Our
Yep.
guitar player, man, he doesn't like playing loud, and I'm like, you're in a metal band,
Yeah.
and you have to play.
Get over that.
You have a full stack over there. You're in a metal band, and you have to play over this enormous drum kit.
Speaking
What do
of
you
which,
mean you don't want to play loud?
I'm going to try out that full stack. I happen to have it.
Ooh.
I've had a few instruments over my life that I do the rule where sometimes I'll have it for a while, and some of them I keep them. And I always sell instruments and stuff. Usually they let them go. But I've had a few where I've very few that I've kind of kept the whole way. I have my very first guitar I ever bought my whole life, an amp. Oh, you got yours up there. Yeah, no, mine still rocks and everything.
Mine stopped working years ago, but
You can
I
fix
probably
it.
could have fixed it, but I just like it where it is now.
Yeah, it's cool and you got it, right?
Yeah.
So I got my first guitar and I've got probably got rid of all my amps. I got all new amps now, but all the pedals are gone. But my first acoustic's gone. My second electric
My first acoustic
was stolen, and then I got it back. There's a whole story on that. It beat someone up to get it, and not proud of it, but it did it. And yeah, and then I ended up selling it. Had a chance to buy it back, but it came back and the neck was warped and all this stuff, and I was like, nope, you're gone. But I've had a few that I got back. Like I had a gypsy jazz guitar I sold for a year, and then I got it back. I bought
Really?
it back. I had a couple. I had a pink guitar. This one, my Pepto Pete, my main one.
Yeah.
I used that for a while, sold it, and I got it back. I
Really?
bought it back. Yeah, and I've had a few instruments like that. And now I have the acoustic I have here. I had that on consignment. Nobody bought it, so I got it one day because of the podcast. I wanted to plug in instead of the classical.
Yeah.
And now it's my main guitar. And I had this one on consignment, and nobody bought it. And it's like, well, I know what's going to happen. So now I'm going to play the shit out of it all the time.
Well,
Right.
now we're doing this every week, so now you have a reason to.
And here it is, plugged into a Marshall Strat.
You mean a
So
stack? Did
Yeah.
you say Marshall Strat?
Yes, I did, a Marshall Strat. What I was trying to get at, the idea that I love the combination of a Marshall and a Strat. It's always been my
Oh, okay. So
one
you
of
did
my
it on
favorites.
purpose.
No, but
Oh,
I'm just rolling with it. It's probably why I said it.
I get it now. Hey, maybe I won't correct you next time, and we'll just call it a happy accident.
And I
Oh,
love
we're not live on fucking TikTok.
I love a clean
Where's my
Marshall
fucking...
that's bordered clean dirty.
Oh yeah, I know how we can get that guitar in there.
Losing the pattern.
Hey man, sounded good.
It's fun for one of the things one of my weak points is what do you call it? Like not ear training, but sometimes catching a melody by
Perfect
ear.
pitch.
Yeah, not so much perfect pitch. It's just
Improvising.
no, just sometimes following the chords like that. In particular, in minor keys for some strange reason, I'll have a hard time when I'm playing like that. Like I couldn't follow it. It took me a second to finally get it. I was like, oh yeah. It means I just got to do it more because I can do it. I can do it really pretty good in majors. Like when I first started playing jazz, I just would have a hard time getting the chords. But then once you get used to it, it's like, oh okay.
See, I'm the opposite. I have no problem playing minor scales because that's what I played a lot in. You know, a lot of depression and shit with PTSD. So of course we're gonna play in a lot of minor scales. So major scales was my downfall.
Oh, but not the scales. It's following the tone.
Well, okay, that's
you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
Let's see if I can do the riff he was doing. So let's see.
I see what you mean. Your brain is wired to go.
You know what I mean? Like I can noodle over it, but getting used to those
minor.
Yeah. So note to self: work on following random. I'll do that. I'll do that because that's sometimes you don't notice your weaknesses till you talk about them, and you're like, oh yeah, I got to work on that shit.
That's where I'm weak.
Yeah. Oh, but I love a Marshall that's slightly dirty. And clean it up.
I should probably go get my Les Paul and show you that. You haven't seen my Les Paul yet?
No.
I keep it in the house because that's the one guitar that I don't want to get frozen. So I keep it in the house.
Bring it on. Oh yeah,
I also brought it in the house because I got to reset it up because the guy that set it up didn't set it up properly for my tuning.
Oh man, I'll have to help you set it up. I would set up guitars, man.
Awesome.
I love doing that.
See, I'm not bad at it, but attacking a Gibson Les Paul, it's more of like a mental thing. It's just like,
oh yeah, nothing to it.
Yeah, I gotta do the truss rod or the action.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll bring it. Yeah, I'll go get it and then you can take a look at it and I'll get a second
I'll bring my tools here one day and we'll.
If you got better tools than I do, then fuck.
Oh, I probably have the same tools you do. I don't know. You know, you got your Allen key, you got your. The only tool, I guess, if you want to get into it, is your.
I thought you had like
your depth gauge.
Do you have one of those?
Yeah, I got a couple.
Although honestly,
I never use them.
Okay.
I find
I just use my
you
eye.
can get caught up in those, like, oh, here's how Fender sets it. And I know some guys do that, but it's like then the minute you change your strings, it's different, like a thicker gauge. And then what if I play a little harder than you, or I play a little softer? It's like, nah, I like to get it roughly where I like. I get it with the player. I get him to play it a bit. Is it buzzing too much? Is it this? Is it this? And you know, I just kind of adjusted around that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and because because at the end of the day, it all depends how you play.
All right, well, I'm gonna go get my Les Paul so you can see it.
All right, we'll do a little.
You and Flynn jam away while I
I
run into the house and grab the Les. See, look, Flynn, you're not even on camera. You're good to go. Just so everybody's watching, we have a bass player over here. His name is Andrew Flynn. He doesn't like being on camera, but he likes to lay the bass lines down thick for us. Why? Because everybody needs a soundtrack where they monologue. Because look at what's going on in the world right now. What else are we going to do but play music and monologue about the retardedness?
Yeah, foolish lockdowns. But hey, you know what? Like I said, you got people, everybody, even the U.S. government, not so much in Canada, a little bit in Canada, but not as much that they're admitting, yeah, the shots won't stop Omicron. You're going to get COVID anyways. And oh, well, so it's just they're kind of slowly but surely letting the cat out of the bag. And even then they say it on TV and people are like, yeah, well, but at least I got a little more protection. Okay. You tell yourself that. Because what do you think what have we been saying all along? And it's all coming true.
Dude, one of the videos I put out it got flagged for community guidelines on Instagram, and on Facebook they said that there might be false information and taken out of context.
Right.
And I'm just like, he said it point blank.
Yeah.
It was very, very clear what he said. There was no taking that out of context.
You got fact check for repeating something a government official said. Yeah.
Which caught on video, by the way.
Yeah.
You can fake writing something out online.
Yeah.
You can fake that very easy, and you can't prove whether it's right or wrong.
Right.
But when you get somebody saying it on video, watching their lips go,
What'd they say?
oh, it's all about how they're going to take our rights away.
Oh, that. Yeah, all that stuff.
It was,
Yeah,
or was it the other? There was 2 videos that I put up. One was about him saying that he didn't care about the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and they found a loophole to which they were going to take our rights away.
Right.
There was that one, and then I think it was the other one where he was saying all unvaccinated are misogynist racists.
Right.
I think it was that one because one of my
just nasty.
One of my cousins or whatever, or a friend of mine came on, and she's just like, what did she say? I lost it there for a second. She came on and was just like, did he just say that? And I'm just like, that's what it was. She's like, I know what racist mean, but what does misogynist mean? Because it's not something that she hears a lot, because she's like us, but she doesn't listen to the news or anything like that, right? She lives down in St. John.
They love saying that.
Right? And she's just like, what does misogynist mean? I was like, well, misogynist is what women call men who are sexist men. And she's like, that's fucking bullshit. So it's like, what the? Like,
right.
Don Cherry got kicked off of Hockey Night in Canada for saying "you people" that come here to our country and want to take our milk and honey, but they don't want to help it. They don't want to live our way of life. They want to enforce theirs upon us. He got kicked off of Hockey Night in Canada for saying something that simple on Remembrance Day.
That's right.
On Remembrance Day.
Yep.
And look at what they're covering up when our prime minister say.
Well, that's right. I mean,
I'm going to scratch my head,
right?
I'm going to scratch my head a little bit. Now I'm going to go get my Les Paul, because that's my rant for the second. My prime minister's a traitor. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Oh, you done basing it? Oh. All right. Coffee smells over there. I brought it out here because I was thinking ahead. But yeah, you just got to get your cup. I'll go get the Les Paul while you get that Strat going. Ladies and gentlemen, Turbo is going to Strat it up for you because he's got a new axe that he wants to work in. Well, a new old axe. One that hasn't been shown the proper love. Let's go, Brandon.
We need a Trudeau version.
Let's go, Brenda. I was just thinking about the beauty of having a musical podcast. One of us can take off at any point in time, and we won't have to stop the recording because there's dead air. Because there's always music playing. Let's go, Brandon. Tell us your story. Tell us what you're gonna do. Oh, Brandon. Did you know, if you only tried, we wouldn't laugh at you, you fool.
Where's that chord I'm looking for? It's a classic change when you do this guy. There it is. It's leading into the 4.
Oh.
And then got to get used to playing these skinny strings. I've been playing acoustic so much, and now it's all light and fluffy. Might have to put some heavier strings on it, I think.
Oh, I don't want to burn all the incense, but I want more incense. I just want to be smelling incense.
You like the incense, eh?
Oh, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of purifying needs to happen. Hold on, I'm just moving shit out of the way here. All right. Checking in on what our spirit group is talking about.
I said no go, Trudeau. Trudeau, gotta go.
Gotta go.
No go, Trudeau. Trudeau has gotta go. I said, well, we had enough of your funny stuff. I had enough of your funny stuff. I said, I can't walk with your double talk. I can't go with no Trudeau. You're just a fall guy for the wrong guy. Don't want your AI. Not for this guy. A no-go with no Trudeau. With the big rigs. Tussle. Oh, my old buddy, Jen Russell. You're gonna flip that script? Nobody gives a shit.
Oh, shit.
See, I can't pick up no things. Can't go to no gym. Well, I ain't getting too slim. And my buddy's losing his gym. Well, you can't go to no bar. No restaurant, too. Well, you got your shot. Now what you gonna do? I said no go with that Trudeau. I said no go with that Trudeau. Lockdown across the whole town. They're gonna sit down if we don't throw down. 'Cause that no-go. 'Cause old Trudeau. I said no-go. 'Cause of that Trudeau. All right. No go Trudeau, baby.
No go Trudeau. That's what we need more of.
Yep. Yeah, them fools. Yeah, he's getting connected to all kinds of weird stuff now. That fool. There's that NDA agreement's coming out that he signed with that kid. Turns out in 2019.
Oh yeah,
he
okay.
signed
Yeah,
that no non-disclosure agreement with a young lady who was well under 17. They say.
Really?
Yeah. So that's a bit untoward. And I kind of knew about his connection, but he's connected to they just signed up for another, like 100 million boosters or something ridiculous. Enough for boosters until 2030 or something stupid like that, or 2024. I forget now. I think it's 24.
You got to ask yourself, like, what's
It's a scam.
Well, we know that it's a scam, but like
They're making money the whole way, and he's making money.
If it wasn't a scam, like,
right,
the reason for anticipating that much medicine,
you wouldn't
ever.
Well, no. I mean, like
till 2030, enough vaccines for everybody.
Yeah, whatever it is. I mean, it's just
like, first of all, it's a waste of money.
Well, you can't do that for flu shots because they change all the time. So even if which I think flu shots are bullshit anyways, they never really are going to do, and then they eat healthy and you'll be all right. Get your immune up.
Well, that's what you have to do for everything, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Even they push the biggest argument is we'll look at polio. Well, look at polio because we had herd immunity from polio before the vaccine came out.
Yeah.
So what do you mean polio vaccine? Like, we didn't need the vaccine because polio was already beaten.
Yeah.
Like, naturally.
I suspect when
and then I heard that was released on purpose too.
Well, and when this House of Cards falls, we'll probably have access to a lot more things from the past because it's still connected. There's still to that business. They're the same, it's the same kind of industry, right? So once that whole industry kind of gets dismantled, you'll start finding out exactly how shifty the whole thing was, right?
Well, it's like I was telling my mom today, like,
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with her and she's on one side and she even calls people anti-vax. And I was just like, but really, is there really a problem with being anti-vax? But I put it to her like this. I was like, Mom, listen, I'm not anti-vaccine, but I will tell you that I don't believe in them anymore.
Yep.
Because I don't, because the science makes sense logically. Like, I'm not going to lie. It makes sense, especially when I was first told about what it does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they inject you with the virus like a small chunk of the virus in order to slowly build your immune system up to it so that you can fight it off and you can be immune to it.
And that's the general idea.
Which ultimately, honestly, doesn't matter.
And that's an empty statement anyways, because I can say, here's the idea behind a hamburger. Well, it doesn't fucking matter what the idea is. Let's talk about your hamburger, the one you've made for me right now.
Is it actually made of real beef?
Yeah, it's a hamburger. Yeah, well, it's overcooked and it's shit beef and half of it was fucking rotten and the bun's moldy and it's garbage lettuce and it's, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just
I don't
say,
even like tomato.
yeah, it's just, that's a bullshit argument to go, well, this is how they work. And like, it doesn't. Fuck off. Let's talk about that one right there. How about this company that makes them? How's their record with the other products they make? Oh, it's shit. You're full of all kinds of
GMOs and all kinds of other preservatives.
Or like in pharmaceutical companies, you're full of all kinds of lawsuits about bribing people and fudging results and da-da-da-da-da. Oh, but vaccines are safer. You know, it's like, it doesn't have anything to do with it. Like, that doesn't matter. Like, cops are good. Yeah, most cops are good. But when you have...
Can you try a walking baseline?
Like, most police officers are good guys, right? And that's fine. But if you have a police officer who is under investigation for corruption, just saying that most cops are good has nothing to do with it. That's the truth. Big deal. But we're talking about this guy who's under investigation for something. Well, just because all the other cops are good, you know, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's like if I get a speeding ticket.
Are we talking back in like
that's
the
on me,
George
right?
Floyd fucking...
Oh no, I just mean in general. Like, it's just a general statement. Yeah. You know, like you could say, well, people speed. Like, well, yes, some people speed, but that doesn't mean I just sped to get here. I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't, you know, it's just a statement. And I don't go into that semantic bullshit. And there's a lot of that going on. And
it is a lot of semantics.
Science-minded people never used to fall for that shit. And now they've all just...
Well, it's not
they've all, but a lot of them.
It's not a question anymore.
A lot of people I know who used to make educated decisions, or thought they did anyways, they're just buying it. They're just hook, line, and sinker into so many dumb stuff. They don't seem to think. They're just walking around thinking they're all... It's the emperor with no clothes, and it's just fuck off, man.
Well, they think that everything they learned in school is the truth, and it's the only way that it's ever been. Because that's what we were taught. We were all taught that in Western society. And this is how it is.
And even that's fine. But I don't care.
If it was true.
I don't care what you were taught last year, what you were taught the year before. It doesn't matter. What's going on right now?
Exactly.
And
because shit changes or else life would be boring.
Exactly. And as a infantryman, you know all about that.
Improvise, adapt, and overcome, my friend.
Exactly.
I live my whole life by that.
Right.
That's one of the reasons why it's so hard for me to get shit going, is because I know that everything can make sure that everything works after it starts going.
Yeah, it's like Mike Tyson had a quote: everybody's got a plan until they're punched in the mouth. Well, there's a lot of these academics and so-called, these scientists. All of a sudden, they just got punched in the mouth. And you're finding out who actually knows what they're doing, who can actually think clinically. Or, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but a lot of the academics I know, they're just spinning, and they're just, they're just getting proven wrong and wrong and wrong and wrong, and they can't do it. They're digging their heels and digging their heels and digging their heels in. And it's like, well, I hate to tell you, but the data that you've based all your opinions on is every day increasingly being proven to have been faulty. And they're trying to think their way through it. And it's like, no, you've been fed a lie. Your methods are fine. But you trust this data from these pharmaceutical companies.
You don't give any room for change.
Well, they're too naive to accept that they've been duped.
Yeah.
They're like, no, these trials and these companies. Reality is, you just can't accept that it's not the way it's actually been going down.
You know what I figured this out. The biggest clue that should have been our fucking light bulb moment is every time you're done some kind of a course that you're told is the course that you need in order to get the job that you get the job for, then what happens? What's the first thing that happens when you show up to the fucking job?
Yeah, you gotta learn something. It's different. It's always
They look at you and they say, take everything you learned in school.
And it's true,
and
too.
Go like that.
That's right. Every trade, that's true. That is true.
And for those of you who don't know what I just did, I grabbed onto my ear and I flushed the fucking toilet, because you got to flush it out of your brain, because apparently everything that you learn has a fundamental purpose. But once you get into the real world, it's fucking useless.
Right. A lot of friends of mine who were like professional engineers, like, I don't know. I think I only know one chemical engineer, but mostly like
let's look at
structural
Turbo.
Engineers and electrical engineers.
Say hi to TikTok, Turbo.
Hey, how's it going, TikTok? Maybe there's some engineers listening right now, but a lot of these guys will know. You know, they come out of school and they're bush-eyed and bright and bushy-eyed, and then they get on the job and realize, like, okay, now I'm in the real workplace. Get some hanging out with some engineers with experience. They're like, okay, kid, yeah, you're on the job site. Things are a little different here, you know. And, yeah.
I know you were taught in school that you were right and that you're getting all the proper information, but I'm here to tell you that you showed up to this work site and you're now to shut your mouth and do your fucking job.
Yeah, shut your mouth and learn.
The way I tell you how to do it, so you don't fuck up our problem or our work here.
Learn, yeah.
We don't have time to fix your shit because somebody in university told you that you were always going to be right.
Well, and that's it. That university academic thing is
just
there,
saying.
Is there, you're going to get out into the workforce and you'll have it all figured out.
It's also a place
is not accurate. That's not how it works. It's there to prepare you to be able to join the workforce, and they'll finish it off.
It's a stepping stone for late teenagers to 25-year-olds.
Yeah, exactly.
Because your brain doesn't stop growing and developing until you're 25, and they need a spot to go for you, but they wanted you to make you think you were an adult.
Yeah. That's why, you know, they have the apprentice system, and even in the academic world, they do that too. You know, like it's not like it's a total waste, but yeah, but a lot of the data has been fudged, and you see this in the farmers, and it makes you question.
We do need more diversity in the way we teach.
It makes you question.
Like there's
what
certain
other
things
academic data has been fudged with, you know? And if you're not asking that, if I was an academic, I would be certainly thinking about that. I'd be thinking, okay, if I'm a political science professor or something, you know, I'd be thinking, okay, I'm going to really take a step back and just make sure I've got a proper grasp on what I thought I had going, you know.
I think you need less treble too.
I mean, as a musician, I certainly do that. You know, I've seen many times kids come out of school, you know, get their jazz degree, their classical degree, and then realize real quick when they get playing with real musicians,
way better.
It's not all the same, you know, and right. So, but
yeah,
completely. You know, once you think you're a blues player, it doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Which is real world.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
it's like you can have the greatest guitar player in the world, but you can't sit down and expect to just start playing with me and Flynn like right away.
Right.
You know, it's just me and him have been playing together for how long? A decade? Has it been a decade yet?
Yeah. So you guys are jamming, you're gelled, you got a thing now.
Like he literally showed up to my PMQ basement one day.
Yep.
Went fuck. Went home. Came back a year later.
Yep.
And said, "Okay, I'm ready to play now."
Oh wow.
I shit you not.
Yeah.
And he told us the story later. He goes, "Yeah, I went home. I said I suck, and I needed to learn how to play bass because I wanted to play bass with you guys."
Yeah.
And then a year later, he comes back out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, he's just this fucking bass player.
You went home woodshedded for a year, did you? Yeah.
We've
all done that.
He took off, and then he came back, and all of a sudden, he could play bass, and he's been playing bass with me ever since.
Yep.
Hasn't fucking left. Lives in the fucking basement.
I did that a couple times. One with a jazz group. Actually I picked up a jazz gig from this guy started, and they wanted jazz. So I went in and I hired who ended up being kind of like my two main jazz teachers, a bass player and a saxophonist. And I said, yeah, you know, they ended up picking the tunes, and I just played guitar, you know, and the bass player was really cool. He showed me how to listen to his cues, and the sax player showed me as well. And he's quite a character, you know.
Who wants another shot?
Sure, why not? Bring her on.
Friday night.
And you know, now it's funny is I ended up giving up the gig because I was like, I didn't feel like I was good enough. I should have just stuck around, but I don't know. On coulda, shoulda, woulda. I also knew another really good jazz guitar player who needed a gig, and I was like, so I gave him the gig, and I went home and woodshedded.
Shalom. Shalom Shalva.
L'chaim, you mean?
Well, if you're Jewish.
Which one's shalom? Isn't that Jewish?
It's Scottish or Scottish. No, Scottish. Shalom
Shalom?
Shalva.
Oh.
It's the Scottish toast that you do.
You know, there's a good Dutch one.
It's the one that the piper does with the CO every time,
Shalom?
or the CO, the sergeant major at the mess dinners.
Here's one for all our Nederland buddies. Up your gezondheid.
A good sight.
That means up your nose. My buddy Nick DeVries taught me that.
Woo! Love it. Whoa.
Yeah.
Welcome to Friday nights here at Morningstar Entertainment.
Yeah.
Truth in Our Music podcast, a lockdown podcast.
Yeah.
Because guess what? We live in Canada, and our apparently we're going communist, but
Yeah.
not going communist. They want to try.
Okay, so I was saving this.
Oh,
So
here, let
every
me
once in
get
a
you on
while-
TikTok.
So let's
Say hi, TikTok.
okay, everybody, put your tinfoil hat on.
Tinfoil hats.
So there's this rumor going around that when it's time for full like disclosure and it's full on, okay, it's going down. These guys are going to jail, there's court, you're going to take, the bank, whatever, the banking system, the whole 9 yards, whatever you want to believe. Kind of some QAnon type stuff. It's not a QAnon thing. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. But either way.
Q and anon are two different things.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's like saying
They
anti-vax.
put them together because they wanted to demonize. One is anonymous. It was a hat.
Oh, right.
The hat. See, I had this conversation with a guy once. He was going on about
Okay.
QAnon, and I was like, "You're right. QAnon is fucking fake, but anonymous is not.
Yeah, and
Q
is another thing.
Is not either because Q was a secret government organization started up by JFK in case he got assassinated by the Jesuits, who may or may not have assassinated him.
Might have been the mob.
Might have been the mob. It might have been George
According
Bush.
to Martin Scorsese's film, The Irishman, it was definitely the mob. That's just his movie.
According to the magazine that JFK Jr. published, it was George Bush
Yeah.
Sr.
Yeah, so hey. Maybe
if-
maybe they were contract.
If you caught that at all, if you ever come across that magazine cover where he points that out and nobody really paid attention to it.
So here's the tinfoil theory.
All right, continue. I
Is
kind of
that-
hijacked that.
You picture like, you think your white hats here, which is like saying, okay, if it turns out like say this Hunter Biden laptop and what's the other guy's something, his last name's Weiner.
Oh, Anthony Weiner.
And then, and with these guys connecting with all these kids and involved and having evidence against
I heard some
all
stories
this
with that fucking laptop.
fucking crazy shit.
Did you
right?
hear about it?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. So all these things, if these things, whether it's the child sacrifice, the trafficking was going on, or even forget about that. Let's just keep it kind of consistent.
We're getting into Moloch shit here.
Basically, I'm leaning more on so in the case of okay, if these vaccines were a scam, and then there's a lot of arrests have got to be made. That's going to be huge, right? I mean, huge. Like government officials are going to go down. There's going to be corporations. It's going to be down. Okay. And then
Go on.
Then after the lockdown, there'll be an internet blackout.
I've heard this before too.
Right. And then
It's supposed to happen last year.
then it releases, there'll be a emergency broadcast for a couple days saying that sort of thing.
Broadcasting all the trials.
Which you could say in some I can hear it now. Some folks, well, okay, but hold on. If you had a corrupt government, say for example, let's take what happened in Cuba when Castro took over. Do you think they kept the same radio announcements and the same people, and they just they announced that all of a sudden now Castro's in charge? No, they went in and they would get rid of those guys and they would do an emergency broadcast and they would tell the populace, hey, guess what? We're the new government. I'm your new dictator, and this is the way it's going to go. Like, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, how else would you do it? In the old days, it would have been, the Romans would have had they would have showed up on horseback. And like,
They would have showed up on
guess
horseback.
what? We took over. You owe us taxes now.
They would have taken the guy and in charge then. They would have put him in the middle of the square and they would have lopped his head off in front of everybody.
Or whatever, exactly. So,
Let's be real here. They were
Right.
fucking barbarians.
So who knows, It'd be nice to think that's why we're on lockdown this time. And the only reason I would even entertain that thought is because you've noticed they've been coming out saying, yeah, well, the shots and the boosters actually aren't going to do it. The UK's recommended not to get the other booster. The WHO's kind of been changing their tone. Our last one in New Brunswick was saying, well, there's nothing you can do. We're all going to get it. Just hunker down and get your Tylenol.
I
Now,
just
they didn't
gotta-
say anything about vitamin D or anything, but you know what I mean? That the idea of them being, we're all going to get it. Get your Tylenol, hunker down.
Can I
Right?
I need to jump in right there for a
Yeah,
sec.
Get your woo.
I got a phone call today from the school
Okay.
saying that they're no longer going to inform and track all of the COVID cases.
The school said that. Interesting.
They called
See what I mean? Things are
my
changing, eh?
my house phone, and I'm just like, this is a weird phone call. But they are going to post it online so you can see it if you want. But they're no longer going to track it and call everybody and let. They're no longer going to. Basically, they said if there's a COVID case in the school, they're not even going to say anything about it. They're going to record that there was a case in the school
and leave it at that.
And just leave it at that, and then you can go online and check if you want.
See, like things are changing. Now, I didn't have a chance to look.
And it's the retrograde too.
Maybe I will have.
This is first of all,
yeah,
Mercury's in retrograde.
I don't want to get in the habit of looking at my phone during the podcast. Tell me about the retrograde because I don't understand this.
Okay. No, first thing you got to understand is basically Mercury is compared to all the other planets, it's actually always in retrograde.
Okay. What is retrograde?
Well, Mercury spins the opposite way around the sun.
Oh, okay.
So basically, if we were to look at it from an Earth perspective, it's going the opposite way in the sky from us.
Okay.
So, and when the planet goes into retrograde or when it goes backwards,
yeah,
the energy is always different.
Okay.
And usually when a planet goes in astrology, when a planet and the energies, we'll just say the energies, and Mercury is associated with this energy, right?
Yeah.
And I can't remember all of the definitions on what Mercury stands for, but I'll look it up eventually and I'll be able to memorize it.
Okay.
And somebody that's an astrologer or has more knowledge, please write it in the comments. Let us know how off I am or whatever, because I don't really care. I like being corrected. Just don't be an asshole about it, because you won't like what happens if you're an asshole to me. That's all I'm going to say. But retrograde, getting back to in astrology, it's all about energy, right? So we associate it with the planets,
okay,
but it doesn't necessarily mean that the planet in the sky is actually going backwards.
Right. Okay.
But the energy and the polarity of that energy associated with that entity or body, or maybe even in the sky from our perspective, is going backwards.
Okay.
So basically the reverse of whatever planets in all of our solar system and even in the galaxy all intertwine and connect, and they do affect each other.
Right. Sure.
So as much as you say astrology doesn't really do anything, the world elites base all of their decisions on astrology.
Yeah.
Point being, Canada's going into lockdown for 2 weeks, and guess what's happening right now? Mercury retrograde in astrology is happening, and whenever Mercury goes into retrograde, everything. If you were to go back and look at your life and then plot out whenever Mercury was in retrograde throughout that year, because Mercury constantly in retrograde, because guess what? It goes the opposite way around the sun. Right? So you'll notice that your life is doing certain things those certain times. And it's all about the energies, because the energy is affecting the whole planet. And whether you want to admit it or not, and whether you want to be atheist or you want to not believe in it, it doesn't really matter what you believe or not believe, because it's happening.
Okay.
Because we are a multi-dimensional being. And everything happens on multiple levels and multiple dimensions, and all of the energy, positive and negative, is always in a constant electromagnetic flow with you. And if you believe in it like I do, you're going to believe in it. And if you don't believe in it, then I guess maybe it's not going to affect you. But I'll bet you if you go back and you look at your life and you plot out whenever Mercury was in retrograde, you can go, fuck, that's when that was happening. Shit, that's when that was happening.
Interesting.
Look at what's happening right now. Like you said, everything is coming. Everything's coming back around. Venus in retrograde, for example. Venus always represents what?
I don't know.
Love.
Oh, okay, right.
Right? Venus.
Goddess of love that you are.
Right? Venus is in retrograde right now. So what that means for a lot of people that are either separated from their partners or that, having problems in their marriage or their relationships, Venus being in retrograde is a way to look at that and take a look and try and fix it. It kind of puts the energy in your face. And saying that Venus is in retrograde, even though it might not physically in the third dimension be in retrograde, it kind of gives your mind that little bit of a tangible thing to look at, so that you can kind of look at yourself differently. Because astrology isn't necessarily about the actual physical planets and the stars in the sky. That's astronomy.
Right.
And that's the difference between astrology and astronomy. Astrology deals with the electromagnetic energy that comes off of all these planetary bodies, where astronomy just deals with the bodies themselves.
Right. Okay.
So it's just
Cool.
it's a better way, I guess, now that I'm thinking about it, and Spirit's coming through me and maybe saying, hey, maybe retrograde is more of the reversing of the polarity of the energy rather than the physical planet or whatever going backwards.
Interesting. Cool.
So when the energy gets flipped back on it, like the polarity gets switched, because that's what happens to a magnet. Every once in a while, the poles will flip. The poles flip all the time around here. Every 26,000 years or so, maybe 13,000 years, the pole flip. And you could probably go back to around the last time the flood happened, when they say Atlantis went, and maybe we might find a pole shift. But we don't know because we're not looking at that data.
Yeah, interesting.
So, long story short, or short story long,
Mercury's in retrograde.
Mercury retrograde. And anytime anything goes wrong, you could probably bet that Mercury is in retrograde.
Yeah.
It's been pretty calm over all of Christmas and everything, and now all of a sudden Mercury and Venus are going into retrograde and shit's starting to go haywire again.
Yeah, so we'll see what the next little while brings. But yeah, we're in a weird spot here in Canada because we're kind of a little bit different, and and if our political leaders are kind of connected as they appear to be to this whole shenanigans.
I heard the opposite.
We're in the belly of the beast. Oh yeah?
I heard the opposite.
Well, what'd you hear?
Canada and the US are going to happen at the same time.
Okay, yeah.
And it makes more sense because I was thinking about it too. And if you think about it this way, the two freest, because we still kind of swear our prime minister and all our military and everything that still swears allegiance to the Queen.
Keep going. I'm going to add some funk to this.
Yeah. So I heard last year about this time, the plan from the White Hats is what they're called. The White Hats are the ones that are implementing the plan that you're talking about, which I heard all last year. So basically like a year later is when actually it's all happening, it looks like. But getting back to the reality of it, the White Hats said they're going to do Canada and the U.S. at the same time.
Right.
That's why Canada and the U.S. as leaders are the two most incompetent leaders that you could ever have right now.
That's true.
Like, think about it.
We got a drama queen and an old fart.
When in the history of the planet have the two strongest, maybe not, okay, Canada, whether you want to admit it or not, is one of the strongest nations in the planet. We have the most natural resources. Our military is the most, like, actually the soldiers are the most highly trained for a general soldier. And they say that the military, the best military in the world would be a Canadian soldier, German officer, and American tech.
Right. And here we have this Ponce of a leader.
Yeah, we have the Ponce of a leader. Also, the other thing, Canada and the U.S. are the only two countries in the world that have more guns per capita than fucking people. And Canada actually has more guns per capita than the United States.
That's true. Hunting guns and stuff.
Like, we don't have more people and we don't have more guns or weapons. But per person, we have more weapons. So
there's a quote from the Japanese Empire in World War II when they, I forget who said it. I think it was the Japanese emperor said, behind every blade of grass in the United States is an American with a gun. And yeah, you could distribute weapons to every Canadian so easily.
Yeah, same thing.
And it wouldn't have to come from the armory.
But we don't flaunt it the same way. We're a little bit more reserved about it. That's why Canada hasn't done the same thing as Australia yet. And why why they have to do it slower for two reasons. One, Canadians have weapons.
Same key.
Two, the Americans are down south and they love Canadians. All over TikTok, you have Americans watching going, Canadians, come down here. We'll sort us out and then we'll come back up and steal and we'll get yours back.
Yeah, I love it.
You know what I mean? And think about it. We are the only two countries on the planet that basically operate as one, but we're two. All of the TV you watch, where does it come from?
That's right. All Yankee.
I identify more as an American than I do as British Commonwealth, because I was basically raised with an American mindset. Yes, I'm Canadian, but I'm North American. And North Americans are unique people because we're the only ones that are actually free. If you can say that you have a weapon and you can use it to defend yourself, you're a free man.
I identify as a colonialist because my heritage is Newfoundland, right?
Yeah.
Right. So my parents weren't born in Canada; they were born in Newfoundland.
Ah, yes.
Its own colony.
Yes.
So I'm a first generation Canadian.
Ah.
Right. And when I went to UK for the first time, is when it really hit me how UK Ontario.
Well, actually, I'm a base brat and I've lived all over the place.
Right. So have I. But I always had that real strong kind of
East Coast route.
Well, Newfoundland route.
Newfoundland route. See, not me. I had an Ontario route. I was born in Ontario. I spent most of my time in Ontario, Little America.
Right, and it's kind of it's kind of like because it's got that Detroit sort of thing.
Yeah.
That Midwest sort of deal. I don't know. Here we've got that Maine, New York, Atlantic, New England sort of vibe.
Yeah.
BC, where I grew up in BC too.
California.
Very California, Oregon, Washington, West Coast vibe. I spent some time in Alberta as a young man. That's got that whole Texas, Montana type deal.
See, we're all one country.
Right. But
we're all one landmass.
When I went to Europe and the UK, and I spent some time in Germany too, I always had that real connection to a kind of a European flavor, especially because we have that real French thing. And Newfies have a lot of French in them more than they like to admit.
Yeah.
And that European kind of influence in Saint Pierre de Miquelon. So you've got that kind of going on. So I have a weird flavor and take on things, but musically, I feel very kind of colonial. That's why I've always got along with people from South Africa, Australia, England. Always really connect. But it's true, Canadians, most average Canadians, I'm a bit weird, are we're this impression that we're different from the Americans.
But we're not.
It's so wrong.
The only difference is that we invented hockey.
Yeah,
That's it.
And in our little town, like Marysville, or out from north from here, they're baseball people. Football's big here.
Yeah, football's huge in Ramukdo.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. Like and that's why I say that they're going to bring us at the same time. And that's what it was presented to me, and I actually believe that because that's what it looks like. And they have to do the United States and Canada first because we're the beacons for freedom, especially the Americans. I've said it. I've been saying it for months, especially. Americans are really the only actually free country if you think about it. If you actually think about it, they're really the only ones that actually have true freedom.
So the question, though, is, because it's kind of where I say we're in the belly of the beast.
Debate till the fucking end. I don't
we're
fucking care.
We're super connected here in Canada to like UBC and the vaccines themselves. A lot of that was developed here. Don't forget about the lab in Winnipeg.
Oh, yeah.
They stole it all out of, and they blamed it on China.
The Canadian government used our tax money to develop the virus.
And Fauci and the CDC, and there's all that. But then there's that other unseen thing that you perceive the Americans as being this independent sort of thing. But it's naive to not think that there's that huge European money influence.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So, yeah, it's weird. So that's why I wonder, will it happen
the European
here
money
first, or will it happen there first? Or
it's got to happen here first. The plan I heard is it's going to happen here.
It'd be nice.
Well, the reality is, technically, it already happened all over the world.
Okay. What do you mean?
When Trump was president, the story is that he went around and he did a world tour. There were certain spots that he went to that were very, very prominent, and some of them didn't really get too much what's the word I'm looking for? Publicity. Yes. I was trying to use it in the wrong context, apparently. Thanks, Flynn. Publicity. They didn't get too much publicity. Like when he went to Saudi Arabia and he did the sword dance.
Oh, yeah.
And he was given like the sword that they give the leader. It was given to Trump.
Yeah.
And then
right.
And then right after that, because Saudi Arabia is where all the oil, that's the oil hub, right?
Yep.
And then right after that, he went to the Vatican. And he met with the Pope. And remember the controversy that happened there? I can't remember the detail, but there was some kind of news that they made it look like Trump was the bad guy. But if you looked at the look on the Pope's face when he was sitting there with Trump, and you can see it in the pictures, how Trump had this big smile on his face, but the Pope looked like somebody had shot him. And one of the things Trump said to him was, he said, "I hope you enjoy wearing your little red shoes." And for those of you who don't know what red shoes mean, I suggest you go on to DuckDuckGo and Google and look up what red shoes mean.
Well, tell us what red shoes mean.
I don't have the information all in my brain right now, but I can tell you it has to do with child pedophilia.
All right.
I don't have all of the exact details. That's why I said go look it up, and I don't want to get banned on TikTok and YouTube for saying the wrong thing. But that's why I said I want people to see it for themselves. And I'm not making shit up. I literally don't have the memorized data in my brain right now. And that's really all it is. But I can tell you it has to do with pedophilia.
Okay, creepy. Well, there's no connection between that and
I can't remember the
many scandals over the years.
You know what I mean? But what Trump was doing there was he was basically taking the power away from the Pope. He took the power away from the guy that's in charge of Saudi Arabia. I can't remember the Shah or whatever he's called in Saudi Arabia, and gave the power to the prince because the prince was on their good side. Or I think it was a prince or whatever he was. Like I said, I'm paraphrasing a lot of details here because it's been a while since I heard all of this information. And then when he went to Rome, he basically took power away from the Pope silently without anybody knowing. But the media made it look like he was insulting the Pope when really the Pope was being told, this is what happened. Okay, now this came back to me. Donald Trump went to the Pope and said, "We have it all." Was his exact words. We have all of the information. We have all of the data. We have all of the names. We have everything. Enjoy your little red shoes because now I'm in charge. And then they seized all of the gold that was underneath the Vatican, which was like quadrillions of fucking dollars worth of gold.
It's like seeing the Queen's collection. Pretty intense.
Charlie Ward talks about it because he was one of the ones apparently that was in charge of transporting all of the gold from the Vatican and all over the other places in the underground military bases, the DUMBs, the deep underground ones, from those places to the United States or wherever the gold was being brought to centralize it all. So that's the other thing, is that all the gold is being rounded up and being brought back to the United States and then distributed back all of the countries that the Vatican stole the gold from. So because it was the United States that came up with the plan to sort all this, that's why Canada and the U.S. is going first.
Interesting. Well,
because we're all one country anyway, right?
That kind of, they nickname it the Nuremberg 2.0. That's starting to come together. I didn't get a chance. I saw a couple.
Hold on, I'm getting to that too.
Yeah, like it's coming around, eh?
The other thing is, after he went to Rome, he went to the palace. He went and seen the Queen. And remember when he walked in front of the Queen? Do you remember that?
No, I remember you telling me about it. I'll have to look it up.
When Donald Trump went to London to meet with the Queen, just after he went to Rome and Saudi Arabia, because he did that whole trip in like whatever span he did it in, and he walked in front of the Queen, and then all of the media lost their mind because nobody walks in front of the Queen. And Donald Trump walked in front of the Queen. Just like when Vladimir Putin went to London, he said, "I'm not drinking your water, you lizard woman. I brought my own."
That's crazy.
So is the Queen a shapeshifter? We don't know. That's really tinfoil hat. So we'll take the tinfoil hat off and we'll just pretend the Queen is actually a human.
Well, they're certainly financially influential.
That's true. So when he went to London, London was the financial hub and Rome was the spiritual hub. That was the trifecta that was running the world. Saudi Arabia is where all the oil was being organized from.
Right.
And then the other two interesting things that Trump did that kind of people they blew out of proportion but didn't really understand the real significance was when he went to North Korea and actually had peace.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
That was a huge deal, but everybody played it off like he was over there being his buddy. But really what he did, he's the only president to actually get peace between North Korea and the United States. Because the story that I heard is that Kim Jong-un and Xi Jinping are actually on the white hat side.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Because the other thing is after he went to North Korea, he went to China. And the funny thing about what he did in China is Donald Trump was the only foreign official to ever be allowed into the Forbidden City.
Yeah, that's true. That was a bit funny.
And he was actually given, I can't remember what, it's just like in Saudi Arabia where I told you, where they gave him the sword or whatever, whatever thing they gave him in China. And like I said, I'm paraphrasing a lot of this because I don't have all of the information in my brain. Once again, Xi Jinping gave him full authority.
Devil's advocate, it can go two ways. You could say, well, one way, okay, that's it. Because the other thing is, I was watching something on, the legit hit, not conspiracy theory, just about the Freemasons organization. There's they hauled it off YouTube. You can still get it. I think it was like a big anniversary of the Freemasons, and they had a huge ceremony. Where was it? It was at Royal Albert Hall, and they got together all these different Freemasons, 3,000 of them from all over the world. They had the head fella, who I forget who it is. I can't remember. Anyways, they just went about, it was all about all their big influences and all this sort of stuff. And as I recall watching that, I mean, Donald Trump is a Freemason, is a high-level Freemason. So there's different ways to look at that. And the one way, it's like, okay, was he going around telling everybody, not necessarily a white hat thing, is like, hey, we're all in collusion together. We're all going to pull this scam together so we can all make more money together and collude together. There's that.
There's that theory too. And if that's the theory, then we're fucked.
Well, yeah, but then there's also the idea that, to assume that all the powers that be in the world are in on this scam is just
ridiculous.
Somebody's going to be like, that fucking plan, I don't know. I don't think it's going to work.
Reality is
no, trust us. It's going to work. We got it all. We got everybody bought off. It's going to be great. And it's hard to believe that everyone would be like, yeah. Because in every dictatorship, there's always dissenters. There's always someone either A, trying to take over, or B, just going, like I'm going to get on the other side of this. You fuckers are nuts.
Like most Freemasons don't know that
there's factions within it. Maybe it's just there's a huge faction, doing this. We're going to go ahead with this plan, whether you like it or not, and too fucking bad.
And I can tell you, there are,
for example, just to look at the Communist Party in China, there's a lot of that going on, and that's why Xi Jinping is in control, because he quells a lot of this opposition. And that's not to say that some of this opposition is actually going to do things better. Maybe they just want to do the same thing worse or whatever, But so interesting, hard to say, because he is a Freemason. But on the other hand, that could be it. There's also a lot of these folks saying,
there are Freemasons that are actually on the side of good.
Well, there's this idea that, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and we're going to make money and be rich and rule the world. But fuck, the neighborhood's going to shit.
It is,
right? Type deal, right?
Freemasons are a tricky one too, because they started out as a good organization and then they got infiltrated, and not all of them are actually bad. So that's where the Freemasons are a little bit trickier.
Who knows? But tell you what, why don't you take over? I'll be right back. I'm going to try another song here.
Oh, you're going to try another song. Oh yeah. Ooh. Well, look, we got more people on TikTok. Hi, TikTok. How you doing? Turbo's out, gonna go to the bathroom, and Flynn's over there packing his thing, and I'm sitting here talking to you guys because we were just off on a tinfoil hat journey. Welcome to the music. I don't even know what I was going to say there. Welcome to the Truth in Our Music podcast. For those of you who are just tuning in here on TikTok, and if there's anybody on YouTube, it doesn't look like there is because we're not that popular yet. But we're broadcasting anyway because somebody's got to do it. And for those of you who don't know what we do here, this is a songwriting podcast where we talk about songwriting And we also spend a lot of time talking about what's going on in the world, because what do musicians get to talk about? What's going on in the world. We're the only ones that are allowed to say it with no filter, us and comedians. So we sit around and we talk about whatever we want, and then we put a soundtrack to it.
Yep. And I got one more verse. I got 2 down, and I got to come up with this last verse. It's about and everything all around the world who took these vaccines and found out that they're not what they said they're going to be. They don't work as good as they promised. You got ripped off. So that's what it's about. So I'm going with a rhyme scheme. It's a 12-bar blues format. So here's how it works. So I went with the first 4 lines will end with the same rhyme, right? So I've got like told, bold, old, sold.
Oh.
And then I've got the chorus, go ahead, laugh, you can scoff, but you got ripped off. Then it's thing, ring, sting, string. I won't laugh, I won't scoff, but you got ripped off. So this time it's going to be, let's see, old. I did old and ing. Now I'll do, sometimes I just like to stop.
E?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to write the line, and whatever. Usually what I'll do in this kind of a case, I'll just write the first line, and whatever I end it with, then that becomes
That's about usually what I do too.
Yeah. So
if I'm trying to rhyme.
So the first one was set up, was kind of setting them up, how they got set up. The second one is starting to realize. It's like telling your friend, I don't know if that's a good idea. Then the second conversation, like, remember that idea? I don't know. I really think that's a bad idea. I just want to say, I'm not telling you what to do, but there's concern. It's concerned. I'm very concerned.
Maybe the third verse could be like, I told you so.
Well, I won't do I told you so, because I don't believe that. But the third verse is,
I just wanted to say that to be funny.
Is they realize it.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
See, because the whole point is the first chorus is, go ahead, laugh, you can scoff, but you got ripped off. In other words, they're laughing.
Shit,
they're laughing at us because they think I'm crazy for saying they got ripped off. And then the second one, they're starting to realize, I won't laugh, I won't scoff, but you got ripped off. So the third verse is them coming to me, eating humble pie, going, oh man,
can you tell us that story again?
This is bullshit. Like, no, coming back to confirm. So the first time you're telling them, they don't believe you.
Yeah.
The second time you're kind of talking about it, and they're like, you know what? Something's kind of, I don't know, something's kind of off, but they're still not sold. They're starting to realize that things aren't quite what they want.
They're not quite there yet.
Yeah. And then the third verse is, oh, fuck, man, I got ripped off. You're right. That guy is an asshole. You know, or
what were you saying about that guy again?
More like, I wouldn't buy pot from that guy. And then the second verse is like, trust me, you don't want to buy pot from that guy, man. Like, I know people who bought pot and they got ripped off, you know, and they go and buy it anyways. And in the third verse, they come back, yeah, he ripped me off. That's what it's about.
Well, there we go.
Let's see. So I got to come up. So what do we got here? Okay, so now how do we say? I'm gonna say. Let's see. So you did what you were told. The second verse is they said it was the right thing. 3. We'll go. Oh, I started with so. I'm going to end with so. So now you finally figured out. So now everything's got to rhyme with out.
Oh, out, shout, bout.
Yeah. So
stout.
Now you finally
clout
figured out. Oh, it's going to be all out because it's going to be all 4 of them. That was the rhyme scheme. So now you finally figured out.
Woo! The rum's kicking in. Not a whole lot, but I think it's my turn to go to the bathroom.
Okay, well, all right, go for it, brother.
So I gotta check the fucking fire.
Okay. Oh yeah, we gotta be warm. So now you finally figured out. Let's see, how did I do this? Okay, so now you finally figured out. The whole damn thing is what? Let's see. Figured out. Well, here's another songwriting trip. What you can do? I mean, I used to sit there and just go through a million things and try and figure out what I can do. But now, one of the beauty things, I have books for this, you know, a rhyming thesaurus. So I'll just go online. I'll say, okay.
Oh, man, thanks for reminding me about that because I still do the old school thing and try to run through my brain and then I rack myself.
Oh, so since I don't have my thesaurus here, my rhyming thesaurus, I'll go, okay. So I'll just go rhymes without. Then I have a whole bunch, and I just find they'll just rattle right off, Is it cheating? I don't give a shit. I'm going to do it. Who cares? That's somebody else's problem to worry about that. You can look at it. It's just faster. So without, throughout, doubt, drought, shout, trout. I'm not going to use trout. So let's see. So now you finally figured out the whole damn thing is... so now you finally figured out what the whole damn thing's about. There we go. I like that. What the whole damn thing's about. You're so darn... You're feeling... Oh, I got to go somewhere. You're feeling... I was going to say you're feeling something, but I'm thinking down and out. So how we'll go, you're really feeling down and out. Nothing like you're really to stretch it, right? You little cheat like that. You're really feeling down and out.
That was nice.
Okay. So now you finally figured out what the whole damn thing's about. You're really feeling down and out. My R looks like an F. You're really feeling down and out. I want to say a shout. I think it's got to be shout, right? Something simple. Yeah, you could do pout, you could do grout or spout or redoubt, but sometimes it's this.
Pout, it should have been earlier in the line.
Well, the thing is too, sometimes with songs and lyrics, people get all hoity-toity and they want to do all this fancy stuff, and it's like going to fine dining and I've got a reduction foam of salmon and this is actually an egg white that's been flavored like sourdough bread. And it's like, you know what? Just put a fucking egg on the bread, man. Nobody gives a shit about your foam, right? Like that was a thing in restaurants for a while, right? It's like sometimes the answer's there. So now you finally figured out what the whole damn thing's about. You're really feeling down and out.
We're here just chilling out, hanging out, a couple guys just talking about life and what's going on and playing some music and hopefully teaching some people how to write a podcast, write a song or two. Because this is the truth in our music. Welcome. Sometimes you're going to like what you hear and sometimes you're going to go, why did you play that? Why did you say that? Because everything needs to be said. Everything needs to be played. How else are you going to know it's good or bad? Good or evil? It doesn't really matter. I'm just freaking out right now. I'm trying to fill the airways with my voice while Flynn plays the bass in the end.
Oh, I was trying to come up with a word for off, a rhyme for off. And sometimes you can overthink it. You might as well laugh. The gloves are off.
Oh.
You got ripped off.
You got ripped off.
So it's off and off, but you know what? It's lazy, but it works. It's all about the sentiment. Okay. I got a blues song.
Oh, he's got a blues song.
So I'm going to do this one solo because it's kind of Delta blues. I'm going to mix it up a bit.
All right, you want a shot before you do it?
Plus it's in 440. Yes, I do.
Flynn, you need a shot?
All right, I'll give it a shot.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give it a shot because I got no pot.
For the house.
For the house, for the dead.
Yeah.
Spice drum. Good stuff. Okay.
All right, so you're going to play your tune?
I am.
Here, I'll turn you over to TikTok here. I'm going to go make a coffee.
Okay.
Make sure I don't fall asleep after
There you
that shot.
Now, the question is, do I go with...
Because once again, I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I want to do this with harmonica. That's right.
That's been my new thing now, going to bed at like 8, 9 o'clock and then waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that's kind of cool.
It's been different.
It's early as hell.
I'm not going to lie. I usually have someone to talk to too, but Oddly enough.
Yeah, I got to start talking to chicks again, man. Hey, ladies, if you're any ladies out there,
Turbo's looking.
Turbo, the silver fox.
The silver foxy.
True, I've taken time off. Let's get back in the game.
We're here trying to find Turbo a date.
I've been looking for love in all the wrong places.
He's been looking for love, and he's got his glove.
No more whooping up for me. Now I'm gonna find it.
Well, that's why we have a podcast. Now they'll come to you.
Okay, so. Okay, so we got a bass player, but there's going to be a pause, so it's like. So there'll be a bit of a pause, okay? So let's bring her in. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you did what you were told. You were meek and I was bold. I said this shit was getting really old. You went and bought it and now you've been sold. Go ahead and laugh. Go ahead and scoff. You done got ripped off.
Woo!
I can't reach my harmonica. Keep going, son of a bitch.
Great song though.
They said it was the right thing to do, right thing. You went along and you bought that ring. Oh, they said it's just a little sting. Oh, no, sorry, you're hanging on a string. I want to laugh, I want to scoff, but you got ripped off. Fuck's sake. So annoying. So now you finally went and figured out what the whole damn thing is about. You're feeling funny, you're feeling down and out. It makes you wanna stand up and shout. You wanna laugh, the gloves are off, but you got ripped off. Now I'm really gonna play. Oh, they told you that it was the right thing. You went along and you bought that ring. They told you it'd be just a little sting. Oh, now you're out hanging on a string. I won't laugh, almost scoffed, but you got
Ripped off.
Son of a bitch!
Son of a bitch.
Lied to me!
Lied, motherfucker.
Told me it would work!
Oh, it didn't work.
Now I'm feeling like a jerk!
Oh, you're a big jerk.
Can't believe I put it! I stuck it in my arm! Now it better not do me no harm! I got ripped off!
Ripped off. You got ripped off.
Ripped off! Ah, son of a bitch, ripped off!
Off.
I won't laugh, I won't scoff, but you got
Ripped off. That was great.
Oh man,
I love it.
got a little aggressive. I tried to adjust my my rack today, and it wouldn't move. I had to actually get pliers just to get it to move, so I loosened it up.
I'm not gonna lie, I
think
laughed.
I think now I know why I tightened it up with pliers. The thing is about blow and draw, it's called. So it's funny because I'm like, blow 4, blow 2, blow 1, you know, and of course, modern people, everything's a friggin' section. How's it? I gotta find it, son of a bitch. I gotta remember how it works. I was teaching cross harp, which is a bit different. So let's see. So now I gotta go to my G. Oh, I can't fucking find it. Oh well. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into it because I don't play that style. Now I'm confused because I taught a lesson on cross harp. I had this other, but now here's the catch. What we really want. Yeah, but it's like. Now I'm all fucking confused and I can't find it and I don't give a shit. I'm not going to go into it and embarrass myself. The cross harp, though, what you do is you go to the 5th. So it's in D, D, E, F, G, A. So the idea is what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to, instead of blowing, which is like the 1, it's a D harp. I'm going to draw on like the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th holes. Okay, so the idea is when you play cross harp, a blues harp. So if you go B, C, D, E, F, G. So if I play G, you kind of draw. But you're going to do like the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th holes. So, yeah, see, that kind of works, right? Now, when you blow, my 4 chord is C. Well, remember, that's you got a C harp. And then draw again, you're back to G. Now, when you draw the very first hole, that'll be the D, your 5 chord. The very first one, down to the bottom. There, see? And then now you go, you draw the 2nd, kind of 3rd and 4th ones. So what I end up doing, I'm in a different key. I'm going to draw. And then fool around, see what happens.
That's a good breathing exercise too.
It's kind of fun, eh?
My lips are on.
I mean, you do it slow, you get this kind of feel. So I'm in a different key, obviously.
Oh, now you got the train a coming.
So now we're in the key of A. So remember, folks, I've got a D harmonica. You go to the 5th. D, E, F, G, A. So I'm in A. But it won't work because you're in a different key than me. Because you're in C, right?
I have an A, but it'd probably be a minor.
No, you have what key of harp?
C.
No, but I got a D harp. The tricks won't work the same.
I understand. I know what you're saying, but the note kind of, because the D major scale is D, E, F sharp, G, A.
Yeah, but I'm playing
Or
A
F
note,
sharp, C
so
sharp.
You'd have to figure out where your A note is on your harmonica.
It's the 6th.
And all the blows are C, E, G. So let's see, F, A, C. There would be one there somewhere, but then
I
it's
wouldn't
only
be able
one
to hit
note.
I wouldn't be able to hit the F sharp and the
That's
C
what
sharp.
I mean. It's kind of different. I'm just gonna just try to demonstrate a style. Then you can do it in your key. So like, say we'll do the same song but slow, right? So I'll be like, so we go to, it'll just be D, G, A, or no, A-D-E-A. Right? So. Yeah, I went 12-bar blues on you. Sorry.
Well, you went with it, man.
Yeah, fun though, eh? Yeah, once you get the basic of it, it's not so bad, eh? It's pretty straight ahead. You just got to be creative with your little. Yeah, that was good. Oh, now there's a blow somewhere. I got to be able to do.
Oh man, I'm gonna get right into the mouth now.
There's one.
I don't take it dirty. Remember to add me on Facebook and TikTok. That's right. I'm getting into the mouth organ.
Harmonica. Fun, eh? Fun stuff. Whew.
Well, thank you for that.
Oh yeah, no, you got some basics on it. Kind of fun. So you got a song for us, or there was one you were working on, eh?
Well, I got one that was presented to the band earlier, and I kind of running with it, and we almost turned it into a full song yesterday.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go through it and see if I've only got one verse or two kind of verses written for it because I'm trying to flush the rest of it out, and I'm trying to take my time because it was presented to us by our lead guitar player, and I kind of want to put as much of his ideas into it as possible, and I don't know the rest of his riffs yet. So we're trying not to run away and write a whole song without him. But we've been working on this song, and I'm going to share it, and it's a little bit about my journey over the last little while here. There's my guitar pick. And I'm still working on it a little bit. So I will say that because it's a complicated picking pattern, my fingers might go to a little bit of shit when I start singing. Song might take a little bit out of me because it's a pretty heavy tune. All right, do we need to tune up there, Flynn? We're good? Yeah, we're good. All right, so it'll be the one we were working on from Louis there the other day, or yesterday. All right. I watch spirit take your hand and lead you away from me. You had to face your truth and see what you couldn't see. The dark night has taken over and your soul's been put to sleep. And I prayed for you every night, but your love I couldn't keep. So I stood and faced my demons hidden in my family tree. Inside I found my power and the strength that set me free. Each day it felt like torture, trying to let go of the past. I was tired and I was angry, but I knew it wouldn't last. If I could pick up the pieces and put them back together, I know that we would face each storm through all the weather. I don't know what went wrong, but I know it's not the end. If only we could find a way to make it through again, my friend. I know the time has come, but the nights are getting cold. My way to the flame that I will seek. I know it's hard, but I know that I'll never be that weak. Oh, we'll just end her there for now. But
Nice, man. Good lyrics.
thank you. That's the beginning of what we had there, and that last little bit there I just kind of made up on the spot like I usually do. When I don't know what I'm going to say, I just make up a bunch of shit on the spot.
Well, ain't that the beauty of it?
Well, and that song's about the journey that I've gone through the last year. I've gone through a pretty hard journey there. I'm not going to get into too many details there, but I had to find my power and my strength and stand on my own. And I had to deprogram myself from the brainwashing that I had done to me by my dad, the military, and how I was basically subservient to everybody around me. That was a very hard journey to break that.
I'm still working on that. That's a tough one. And for those who weren't raised around the military or served, I mean, I never served, but I was certainly raised within that.
You're a military, Brett.
Yeah, it's that's a powerful bond to break.
It's a grip.
Yeah, grip is a good way to put it. You feel gripped by it. Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, it took losing the most important person that I've ever had in my life. It took me losing her in order to break that.
Yeah.
And honestly, no matter what happened between me and her, like just the fact that that happened just set me free. And I just don't want her to know that I forgive everything that ever happened, because what she did for me can never be repaid. And it doesn't matter what anybody's opinion is that doesn't know our story, and I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Because I know that the two of us just went through the hardest thing that either one of us would ever have to go through in our life.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who we're talking to or what we're doing. Nobody can ever take that away from the two of us. And I'm sorry if I'm spilling some of it on here, but at the end of the day, she needs to know that she did the greatest thing that anybody could have ever done for me. And now I'm the freest I've ever been. And hopefully one day, not hopefully, but one day, the journey of the flames will come back together, because me and her have gone down through the hardest journey that anybody can go through, and that's the twin flame journey. And we've been doing this every lifetime. Every lifetime we've hurt each other, and this is the lifetime where we should be able to come back together and finally solidify it, so we never have to do this again.
I hope so, man. Wow, cool.
But, you know, at the end of the day, we got to do what we got to do too, because I'm also ready to say, hey, maybe next life.
Yeah.
Because-
Well, that's it. Actually, that's powerful because that's the old saying. I mean, strength does come from adversity. Whether
Exactly.
we don't like it, but it's the way it is, right? Yeah. And you never hauled out that sweet Les Paul. I've never seen your Les Paul. Before we end, or we're getting close. I'm sure. Excuse me. No,
We had some
you,
fun.
you sweat when you sing, don't you? That's
Well,
that's a classic.
it's the fire pit.
Oh, that.
And because of all the work and everything I've been doing, I'm like,
Oh.
I'm right into fucking burn mode.
It just I know.
So
what
as
you
soon
mean.
as I get warm and as soon as I start going, I start burning.
Yep.
Because, well, I'm also intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
I'm actually on my way to try and get down to actually doing a 7-day fast.
Oh, I'm gonna have some fun here soon enough. I had some old pictures I brought to our buddy Bob, and I went, and he's a great friend of ours, super cool cat, man. He just
All right.
so
So,
inspired by this guy. But I found pictures of me. I used to be vegan, eh?
oh, yeah.
And I weigh about. I mean, I'm kind of fat right now because I got sick and I'm recovering.
Tubby.
But I'm about I don't know, 220,
It's okay.
210, 220, something like that.
You weigh the same as I do.
Yeah, and I'm a lot shorter than you. So,
So I'm not going to call you fat.
but
Tubby.
my lightest of my adult life, I was
Just kidding.
127 pounds. So imagine me less, almost 100 pounds, right? It's
You can
hard
be.
to believe.
Oh,
So,
low battery. We're
yeah.
almost done because we're
Yep.
running low on TikTok here.
So yeah, I found some pictures that my mom had of like me at different gigs she'd taken, back before we didn't all have cell phones, we had actual cameras. So all these pictures, it's just crazy to see myself at that weight. So I'm going to do probably a several month vegan cleanse. Not so much a cleanse, I don't know that word get used a lot, but I'm just because I'm going to be getting heavy into growing vegetables and gardening.
Oh, nice.
As an excuse, I'm just going to immerse myself in that world. A lot of my friends are vegan. People are vegan. I respect it. And I've been vegan, carnivore, everything, right? I don't mind. I just love food.
I know that I'm a carnivore,
Yeah, and I love
and
it.
that's what it is.
But I like mix it up once in a while. And it was like, I'm going to try it. And it's like, well, I did lose a shit ton of weight doing that.
Yeah.
And I think I've got to strip down a lot of the fat. I got to lean out. And then if I'll decide what I'm going to do.
Carbs gotta go.
I kind of feel like I'm going to end up being carnivore every winter and vegan every summer. I kind of feel like that's how it might go, but who knows? We'll see. But either way, I'll give it a shot. If I don't like it, I'll switch up. But
Yeah. That's the
but,
beauty about life. You can just
yeah.
change it.
yours
It's
not
not
going to
gonna-
be for you. And
Yeah.
it's like a tailor-made suit, right?
So,
yeah.
long story short, things happened
Yep.
over the last year. Brian got sad, but Brian made himself feel better because he went out and got a Les Paul.
Baby.
Well, I walked in along a McQuaid and I wasn't even going to get one. Weirdo.
Sure. Well, hey, we all.
I
Every
walked.
guitar player stared at the guitar at one point. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm the guy that walks into the fucking music store and I use the force to find the fucking
Okay.
the
yeah.
energy that's calling to me. And so this one, I didn't even do that. I was just standing at the counter doing stuff.
Because he's a big dad.
Oh, yeah. He sold me basically every piece of gear in here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Him and Kaylor Legacy when he
Oh,
worked
he's
there.
now, I remember Kaylor. He's off in Newfoundland now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good buddies with him too as well. Shout out to Kaylor Legacy. He wants to come on the podcast.
It looks like a tobacco bird. I don't know, but wow. Let's see this, baby. So I haven't even looked at the front. I'm trying to see what the serial number says. Grover tuners. Solid, quite heavy. Yeah, wow. Tobacco sunburst, the zebra pickups. Classic. Okay. I don't know if they call these the top hat knob, something like that. Probably can't see there, but wow. Oh yeah, no, this is gonna be in one of your crazy custom tunings, right?
It might be out of tune, but it was a step and a half down.
I have no idea what's going on here. big fancy leather. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh yeah, like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't stress about it too much.
For me, I
Check the straightness of the neck.
I'm a little anal retentive like that, and I like a nice.
Yeah, it's like super perfectly straight. I might give a little relief. That might get rid of it.
A little bit of a bow. Pretty woman. Pretty woman walking down the street. Pretty woman, you're mad at me. Pretty woman.
This is true.
Yeah.
I can't love as good as you. Mercy. Sounds great with a low tuning.
Right?
Mercy. Pretty woman.
Is there anything more classic than a Les Paul through a Marshall?
It's kind of a, yeah, really. Hey, do you mind hitting the crunch button on it? Let's see what it does when we crunch her up. Especially when it's all low like this, right? Never could play that fucking song. Not a Guns N' Roses guy. Okay, here we go. Ooh, here's a metal riff I wrote, a song called No Compliance. Never did come up with the lyrics yet.
Let's do it.
I'm in the wrong key. Sorry. I tried to cross my legs because Les Paul said funny. My right hip is killing me from all the skiing I've been doing. I'm in the wrong pickup. No wonder it sounds funny.
I don't know anything of what you're saying, so I'm just going to assume that what you're saying is true.
Well, when you're on the top pickup and you're trying to do that, it's very fuzzy, right?
Yeah.
But when it's on the bridge pickup,
I see you pass your mandates like you think you've won. You can't tell me what to do cause you don't know the gun. You take your fakes and you don't know what else to say. I can't fool you no one, no I won't complain. I know you think that I'll comply to all your rules. Non-compliance is the thing that you are your tool.
goes like this. No compliance.
No compliance. No compliance. Yeah. Very Megadeth of you. Nice. No! Compliance! No! Compliance! No! Compliance! You can't tell me what to do. I won't listen now. I feel it in my bones and you can't. Oh, man. That was hitting my throat funny. I think I need more rum.
Sort of like, we won't follow what you say. We know you're lying every day.
There you go.
Everything you say is lies. Your twisted truth will never compromise.
No!
Compliance.
We won't tell your rules.
No!
Compliance! Fuck all of your rules.
We won't do what you say. You're more transparent every day. One rule for you, another for us. And no one will trust what you say. Something like that. I'm playing it all wrong now.
I don't care. That sounded beautiful.
But you get the idea. It's one
Flip.
of those. I always wanted to write a metal song.
I hope you didn't mind me throwing some weird fucking lyrics down there.
No, it was awesome. This thing's sick. Yeah.
I like the neck on it and fucking everything.
It's that sort of semi-finished. I mean, it's finished, but you can feel the little tiny grains and the holes
Yeah.
in the mahogany. That's part of mahogany. It's got that little millions of little pits, right? But I like that. It feels played in. It's obviously new, but yeah, plays like a dream. Good purchase. Cheers.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to the Les Paul.
Prost.
And to the fallen. Whoa.
So there's your bridge pickup. Jumping up and down, then you're loading gear an hour. Play a Strat for a lot of them. Guitar, plus my pink one. No, it's just always like, wow. And then there it is. So, kind of a cool little. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of went off diminished there. At the
Yeah,
end.
because it's if you follow like the scale, that E is supposed to, or the, I guess it's a what is it here? It's a B in this case. It's supposed to be a minor, like. But if you do it as a instead of minor, you do this, the major third.
Almost Arabic or Egyptian.
Well, that's what it's from. It's from the Spanish Arabic thing, where instead of playing an E minor, they play the major third.
Yeah.
It could be. It could. What? Who does Crystal Mountain? That's
Death.
Death. Yeah.
Inside Crystal Mountain.
Chuck Schuldiner. Yeah. Wasn't that his name? Yeah.
Something like that. Actually, I saw God love George Stroumboulopoulos.
Oh yeah.
Oh, fuck that guy, man. You know, he stayed true. I can tell you that any metalhead knows that fucking George Stroumboulopoulos is a real motherfucker. And
he still loves the metal, does he?
Oh, man. I saw a TikTok video of him talking about Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
and he's just like, I want to talk about one of the most influential musicians on the, or not on the planet, but one of, anyway, he said
in the metal planet,
in the metal world, and he influenced a genre that's still going strong today, and a band called Death. Oh man, oh yeah.
So when I first started getting paranoid about it, it was like, I remember there's a couple of these death metal guys were getting brain cancer or something. It was just like, are they just around too many big magnets? I remember thinking that in like 2001. I was like, oh shit, I'm fucked.
Jeff Hanneman, he died of flesh-eating virus.
Who did?
Jeff Hanneman.
Jeff Hanneman.
Slayer.
Oh, Slayer. Yeah. Yeah, wow. That's a weird one, eh?
Yeah, some kind of flesh-eating bacteria.
Yeah.
But he was South America? He was sitting in a pool in like South America or something, I think, or a hot tub or something.
Yep.
Tropical place, and some flesh-eating bacteria got him.
Weird. Didn't John Christian lose a leg to that or something, or almost or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, there was a Canadian politician back in the 90s or 2000s. Yeah.
He had polio, I know that.
That's something with his face. Yeah. Weird, eh? Yeah. No, this is a serious guitar, man. This is crazy. And of course, you're plugged into a. All right, I got to put this down.
Hold on, I came across a TikTok talking about McDonald's. Let's get it on the podcast.
Oh, McDonald's! Oh God.
Good morning, fellow Canadians. Let's talk about all the things that transpired yesterday in Canada. Story number one: Ronald McDonald House decides to evict anyone over the age of 5 who's not fully vaccinated. Yeah, we don't care if you have leukemia. We're gonna kick you out. What? So, a very concerned father who received said eviction notice went straight to Mint. Him and wife recorded the entire conversation, and needless to say, that video went viral. The amount of backlash that Ronald McDonald House received from fellow Canadians was enormous. Guys, I think we're going to have to retract our statement. Our shareholders are going to be really pissed off. Yeah, no shit.
I think this is going to take another shot.
Canadians band together showed their disgust towards Ronald McDonald House, and within 12 hours, they retracted their entire statement. And in the midst of all the chaos, a beautiful soul started a GoFundMe page for this family and raised a shit ton of money. I went to go donate, and I couldn't even donate because there were so many donations coming in that they had to pause the donations. See what happens when Canadians band together numbers? We make shit happen. And now this family can just focus on their son and getting him healthy. Story number 2. Quebec is deciding to...
Good for you, Canada.
...the unvaccinated. So the carbon tax isn't changing climate change, but taxing unvaccinated people is going to stop COVID? All the other provinces are saying that they're not going to go forward with what Quebec is planning, but where have we heard that before? Story number 3. This is a good one. Emperor Justin, Castro, whatever other name you want to give him, has decided to propose that we suspend our Charter of Rights and Freedoms for the next 5 years. So genuinely curious. All of you that got the juice, how you feeling about that? So if you're anything like me and you're going, okay, this is the straw that's going to break the horse's back, it's time for us to stand together. A Charter of Rights and Freedoms for the next 5 years. So genuinely curious.
I forgot
all
about
of
that.
you that got The juice.
Yeah.
How you feeling about that? So if you're anything like me and you're going, okay, this is the straw that's going to break the horse's back, it's time for us to stand together. If what happened with Ronald McDonald House and the Fergusons is any inclination of what Canadians can accomplish when we band together, I think we need to band together. So, yesterday, we tried to kick out sick children, we're taxing the unvaccinated, and we're stripping you of your rights for 5 years. Sounds like Sir Justin might just be activating his daddy's loophole. I just can't. I just can't. Aren't you sick of this? Good morning, fellow Canadians.
There it is.
Traitor.
Well, you know,
That's all I have to say to that.
the folks that have it was so easy to blame the unvaxxed, the unvaxxed this, unvaxxed that, and I remember saying, folks, like, you just wait, he's coming for you. There's not going to be a difference. He's coming for you.
So now
They're coming for him.
they want to strip rights for
And now
5 years.
now they're all locked down, just like us.
Yep.
Right? 5 years of no Canadian chart of Canadian rights. And what's the old saying? Well, to get it.
Kind of like when they snuck Bill C-51 in on us.
Yep.
After we told them no, they still snuck it in, didn't tell anybody, and now they can't. And then Trudeau was get rid of it. And what did he do when he got in? Didn't get rid of it. And then he held the fucking marijuana carrot over everybody's ears or fucking head for 4 years. Then finally legalized it, and then made it
It's
so
inevitable.
then made it so slow that forever. But he did it perfectly because by the time 2020 came around, everybody was high all the fucking time. Easy. Like, I'm all for legalizing the marijuana, but the fact that they did it so that they could get everybody lazy and compliant just before they did this, that's not okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can say that they did it for whatever reason you want. My intuition is telling me that they did it to subdue everybody so that they could do this.
Because you got ripped off.
And on that, we'll have our final shot and we'll say goodnight.
Cheers,
Shalom.
gentlemen.
Shalom Shva.
Shalom Shva.
Thank you for coming out to the Truth in the Music. If you're watching it on the hashtag, it live. Or you're watching it on the replay, I should say. Hashtag replay. Leave a comment, share, like, subscribe. Make sure you smash all those buttons you want to smash, and hit that notification so that you get notified when we go live. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Truth in Our Music. Turbo.
Stay strong, folks. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. And we got lots of songs for her.
And she's a fat lady.
But she going to diet real soon here.
Glenn, tell your mom to fuck off. Anyway, good night, folks.
Goody goo goo.